All right. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Matt Fifer. This is Conversations on Retail. And this is a series that we call Show and Tell, where we bring founders and leaders of some of the most exciting service and solution providers in the industry together to talk a little bit about the work that they and their teams are doing to sort of disrupt the industry with respect to doing business with in the world of retail. Today, we are with my friend David Feinlieb. He's the founder and CEO of Palo Alto-based SRAPID. And a lot of you would probably know David more from the work that he did at Content Analytics. So David, welcome. And I'd love for you to start by telling us a little bit about your entrepreneurial journey up into Content Analytics, what you learned, and then sort of how that applies now to the work you're doing at SRAPID.
Well, thanks, Matt. Great to be here. Great to reconnect, familiar faces. And, gosh, being an entrepreneur is a little like being an artist. You don't know exactly how it's going to go, but when you've created something and people like it, then you see that. And my first job was shoveling snow. So that kind of built my entrepreneurial backbone. And from there, I moved on to cleaning the school swimming pool, another glamorous job. And I had the good fortune to get into computers, which I really loved. Did programming myself. Spent some time at Microsoft, and then I've been involved with a few ventures. Content analytics really came out of its growth in e-commerce, and if you can believe it, at the time, we would go into accounts and they'd say, that e-commerce thing is interesting. We should keep an eye on it. Let's stay in touch. And now, of course, by the time we sold Content Analytics, it was the fastest growing part of the business and such a key revenue and growth driver. So I really, Steve Jobs has this saying that the dots only make sense when you connect them looking back. That's very much true for me. I look up and I just find myself to be really grateful to have run into the customers that we have and kind of been able to build the products that we've been able to build.
Yeah. So SRAPID is a digital content management creation and proofing platform. You work with some amazing brands. Tell us the story about SRAPID. Talk about your team, talk about its capabilities, and talk about some of the work that you're doing.
Yeah, so SRAPID was really the natural evolution for us from Content Analytics. Content Analytics, as you know, we had a content health scorecard that's used by some of the largest retailers in the world. If you're a vendor, you've experienced that content health scorecard, and we had a PIM solution for storing product data. That company was acquired by Syndigo, and during the pandemic, we were contacted by some of our previous clients, and they really said, "Hey, look, we can see how we're doing on the digital shelf. We can store that content, but now our challenge is we got to take those product shots, those lifestyle images, and do something more with them. Video, display ads, product files, HTML5 ads, sort of unlimited amount of content. There's never enough content. And so they were looking for a scalable way to produce that content. I jokingly say that we like to start small. Our first customer for this was PepsiCo, which we were very fortunate to have. As any other entrepreneur will tell you, when you get a client of that size and scale who wants to work with you, you really count your blessings and your stars, because it's an amazing thing to have. And they really had this vision around scaling content across many different channels, many different formats, being able to do it really fast, and automating enough to take out the repetitive work, but keeping that creative element and those brand style guidelines that are really important for a company like Pepsi and so many other brands. So that's really what we do. We take your existing marketing assets and transform those into all the different videos, display ads, images, et cetera, that you need for Amazon, Walmart, Instacart, Kroger, Target, on and on and on and on.
Yeah, I've actually seen the platform in action, and it is super impressive. I mean, obviously, I'm a bit of a content creator myself, and having the ability to sort of build it once and then have it replicate in all the various formats is a tremendous, not just time saver, but from a quality control standpoint, just making sure that it's perfect all the way across, and you're not missing any of the executions is great. Talk about your sweet spot as a company. Is there a category of brand, or a size of brand, or a retailer that where you seem to operate the best?
Yeah, it's such an interesting question. You know, where's kind of the sweet spot in the market? Obviously, we started with Pepsi, as I mentioned. We have brands like Newell Brands and Revlon and many other really big brands. I think what's amazing about this product, and what really gets me excited about it, is that it's applicable to you no matter what size brand you are. We just did a video with Curation Foods, the stop motion video. It's amazing. They don't have, 15, 20,000 images in the portfolio, but they have just as big a need to take some product shots and turn those into content that's engaging. So I really like this, seeing this market where you're a small or a mid-sized brand. Maybe you don't have that many assets in house. You're worried about that. And yet you could take a product shot, a couple of lifestyle images, and end up with something that's really compelling. Then at the other end of the market, you have a PepsiCo, tens of thousands of images, SKUs worldwide, and on and on and on. Their challenges, they have so much. How do you take that, kind of distill it down, and then produce content that's going to be effective?
Talk a little bit about your pricing model, because I understand it's really set up in such a way that even a smaller brand and producing a smaller amount of content can still benefit, because you're sort of paying as you grow.
100%. So we want this platform and this capability to be available to everyone. I like to see that, I can build creative in our platform, and I love that because I can use the product and help our clients out. And so we want that capability to be available to everybody. If you have just a couple of SKUs, you want to start with a product, sign up a la carte. You want to just start with a video, sign up a la carte. Just do a video, do one or two, maybe do a refresh for an upcoming tentpole opportunity. You're doing more and you're working on multiple channels. You want to be refreshing throughout the year. Sign up for a subscription, because it's just going to be more cost effective. You're going to get more value.
Yeah, great. I want to ask you a question about some of the emerging trends, and then I'm going to ask you to confirm a rumor for me. So, but let's start with emerging trends. What sort of trends are you seeing in visual content that brands today should really be mindful of?
Yeah, I think two things on visual content. One is video. We virtually every call we're on, we hear about video. We hear about the challenges in creating video. It's historically been very time consuming. The demand is there, but as an e-com manager, e-com director, your question is, how do I execute on it? But you can see the retailers are really pushing video as a format. And so getting video updated, that's per SKU, per channel, that's certainly one big trend. The other piece that we're seeing is really around kind of the need for refreshing content throughout the year. So if you think about kind of like historically, what's happened is you would do your content, you would do a refresh, and you kind of have this one and done mentality. I got my product shots up on my PDP. I'm set, right? I'm done. But now what we're seeing is, especially where you have bite-sized content, quick content, you got consumers seeing lots and lots of content. We're seeing brands like Sierra Nevada is a great example, where they're refreshing for Halloween, Christmas, St. Patrick's Day. They're looking ahead to Memorial Day, July 4th. So every opportunity throughout the year, they're doing customized content for those occasions, for those events. Again, the demand has been there, but it's been really hard to do it. So video as a format, and then just kind of this ongoing refresh cycle where you're updating the content, same product, but just new look and feel for the content. I think those are two really compelling trends.
Yeah. So now sort of to the rumor. So you're doing a lot of work with brands, obviously, which is what we've talked about, giving them the ability to sort of use your platform in a DIY sense to manage their content. But I also understand that you recently developed an ad management platform for one of the country's most successful consumer product growth agencies, if you will, growth agencies, and that you retain the right to that technology, giving you the ability to build it again. Talk a little bit about that capability. You don't have to talk about, sort of the names and so forth, but talk about that capability and talk about what sort of appetite you might have to do more of that in partnership with other agencies.
Yeah, 100%. So that is true. We're always looking for ways to kind of meet the needs of our clients and extend the services and capabilities we can offer. We do have, and we built out this ad management capability. And if you're thinking about it, you have sponsored products on the big retailers. You type in breakfast cereal, let's say, certain products are sponsored in those results. And we've built out a complete ad management platform. And I think what sets our approach apart is that we have flat rate pricing for that. So rather than charging a percentage of your ad spend, you get a known fixed price depending on your scale that you can budget against and manage toward, and also improve your margins as you manage more ad spend. So definitely something we'd love to put to work at for other agencies and other clients.
Yeah. So I've got two other questions, and I'm going to give you sort of the freedom to answer this first question in a couple different ways. And so I'll ask the question: what are some of the most common mistakes that you're seeing brands make when it comes to content management? Now here's an alternative version of the same question. Where is there low-hanging fruit? Where are there opportunities for brands to be doing more with content that maybe most don't see?
Yeah, I think one of the biggest fears that brands come to us with is we will get on a call and we'll say, "Hey, gosh, I don't have that many assets to work with. Is that going to be a problem?" And the great thing about this approach is you could start with a product shot, and then we've got a stock image library. We've got audio for your videos. We can kind of take that one image you have, turn it into a stop motion video, turn it into a testimonial video, turn it into lifestyle shots and all of that. And so that's something you really couldn't do before. You'd have to reshoot the whole thing from scratch and all this time and money to do that. So I think that's a big deal for brands, is just the ability to kind of meet them where they are and start with the assets they have, and then produce something that is super high quality, really robust. And that I think is really exciting for the brands we work with.
Yeah. You spoke a few moments ago about some of the emerging trends, the things that we're already seeing begin to play out, but predict the future maybe a little bit further out. Where are we headed? And whether that means, 3 years from now, 5 years from now, maybe even 12 months from now, because things are happening so quickly. What does the distant future look like?
Well, we've all been reading about ChatGPT, right? So, we keep our eye on that. And one thing we've started incorporating into the products is some capabilities around that sort of technology. So let's say you're doing the display ads, you'll be able to type in, give me a headline for St. Patrick's Day, but adhering to this brand style. And the nice thing is, because we have your brand assets, we have your previous ads that you've done, we have other messaging you've used, we can feed that into kind of the AI algorithm. You don't have to write some huge paragraph to get all that into the input. we have all that information. And so the recommendations you're going to get in the product are going to be very on brand, very on message. So that's just one example of what you can do and what I think will be kind of a big trend when it comes to content creation.
Yeah, I know you in our conversations, you're very bullish about the future. You're very excited about the work that you and your team are doing. Any sort of parting words that you want to share with the community before we say so long?
Well, I think this is a great space to jump in. We see so many brands that produce really amazing creative with this approach. I love this space because, again, just a few assets. You can come in if you want to do a huge initiative. Of course, you can do that. Also, such a great space to just start with a video, start with a couple of images, and see what you can do. We have managed services, so if you want to kind of work with us like you'd work with an agency, great. You can do that. No change to your workflow. If you want to come into the platform and edit yourself and kind of, hands on the steering wheel, you can do that. That's sort of the beauty of this hybrid approach. So come look us up. It's rapid.io, and we'd love to see you. And a really great space, and so we get a lot of joy from seeing the creative that brands are able to produce. So.
David, finally, founder and CEO of It's Rapid. It's been so fun getting to know you. Thank you for the time that you've made this afternoon, and best of luck to you and your team as you push forward and continue to disrupt the industry.